Hello everyone, this is Orlando from A Collector's Dream, and today I want to show you the rest of the submissions that I did to SGC. There were 100 cards in total. I've shown a couple of videos already that cover the cards from the 90s to the present day, and also from the 70s and the 80s. So today I'm going to show you the oldest cards that I submitted to SGC. And these are from the 50s and 60s and a few that are even older than that. So what I'm going to start with today is the most of them are going to be 1962 and 1959. Those are two of my favorite sets. I have both of those sets complete and in great condition, especially the 1962. Those are one of my favorites due to the border. I just like the wood border. And they're very, very difficult to have in great condition. But I was lucky enough to build this set very, very early in my career. And I picked up almost the complete set from the original owner who had pulled these right from the pack. So these are going to be in really nice condition, especially with these wood borders. They're very, very tough to come by. So I'm going to begin first with the first card, which is the Bob Euchre rookie card. And this is a high number card. Again, one of the more difficult cards to get, especially in good condition. So the first one is Bob Euchre. And Bob Euchre got a 7.5, which is in beautiful condition for that card for that year. So here it is. It's a 1962 Topps Bob Euchre, 7.5. And there's Bob Euchre. Bob Euchre is not in the Hall of Fame, but he's well known for movies that he did, Major League, and where he was the announcer. You'll all remember when the ball was way outside, he says, the pitch was just a bit outside. So there's Bob. And again, with the wood borders, very, very susceptible to the chipping, but these are not chipped. These are really, really good condition, as you can see. And you're going to see most of these 1962s are in great shape. So this is the first one, 7.5 for the high number Bob Euchre card. Next, we have the Karya Strensky card. Again, 1962 Karya Strensky. This is his, I believe, his second year card. Another one of the higher number cards. And Carl got a 7.5 also. So again, a beautiful card in a 7.5. It's a nice card of Karya Strensky. Give you a good look at that. SGC graded 7.5. A little tough on the grading. You know, I was hoping to get a little bit better grades on those. Corners are really, really sharp. No chipping, a little tiny bit, but the majority of the card is in beautiful shape, nicely centered. There's the Karya Strensky 1962 Topps in a 7.5. The next card is another one of the high number cards, and that's Willie McCovey. So Willie McCovey, again, this is his second year card, and SGC graded it a 6. So nice card for the year to get graded a 6. It's a good grade. I think they're a little tough, but I'll take it. All these are going to remain in my personal collection. So just wanted to get them slabbed so they will be protected in the future. Has a little bit of very, very tiny bit of chipping. But again, these cards are very, very difficult to get in anything higher than a 5. It's really tough to find. Next card is the Frank Robinson. And Frank Robinson got a 6.5. This is the 62 Topps Frank Robinson All-Star card. And again, it's a beautiful card. You're going to see all of these 1962s are in great, great condition. Very tough to get these in good shape. So I'm just glad to have them graded, and nice Hall of Famer, Frank Robinson. The next card is another one of the All-Star cards. And this is the Willie Mays card. And Willie Mays, again, Hall of Famer, one of the mid-series cards, and it gets a 6. .62 tops, Willie Mays All-Star. These are the All-Star cards first. So this is the Hank Aaron All-Star card. You can see nicely centered in the back. And Hank gets a 7. Very, very nice. It's hoping a little bit better grade, but I guess it's fair. 62 Hank Aaron All-Star, All-Star. Hank Aaron. Beautifully centered, nice corners. It's a nice Hank Aaron card from the 62 top series, graded a 7. Very, very tough to get these cards graded and get a 7 or above. Even a 6 is a great grade for these cards. There's the Hank Aaron. Next, we're going to come up with one of the most important cards, probably the most important card in the set, other than, of course, the Mickey Mantle, is the Lou Brock rookie card. And this is his rookie card. Lou Brock, great player, base stealer, and one of the top players at the time for the Cubs. So his rookie card gets a 7. And that is a tough, tough grade to get on this Lou Brock card, even though I really thought it would be maybe a little bit better, but we'll live with it. I am going to keep this in my collection. It's a beautifully centered card, and it's a tough card to get in this kind of condition. So this is a 1962 Lou Brock rookie card and a 7. Next comes the Hank Aaron. Now this is the regular Hank Aaron card from the set, card number 320. And again, very, very tough to get these in great condition, especially due to the chipping on the corners from the wood borders. But I just love the wood borders. Just gives it a classy look, and a 6.5 for the Hank Aaron. Very nice, young Hank there in the picture. This card is, again, beautiful, nicely centered. Maybe a little tiny chipping on this corner here. But other than that, the card is a beautiful, beautiful card in a 6.5. 1962 Hank Aaron. Now comes the Willie Mays card. Like I said, I basically got all of the better cards out of here. The Mickey Mantle, I graded that earlier with PSA, and you could see that on my Mickey Mantle collection video that I did earlier this year. And that's got all of the Mickey Mantle cards in there. So you won't be seeing Mickey Mantle cards here because I did a whole separate video for the Mick. So here's number 300, which is Willie Mays, 1962. And Willie gets a 6. 62 tops, Willie Mays, number 300, in a SGC 6. Again, another nice card, nicely centered. This one does have a little bit of chipping in this little corner here, but for 1962, you're talking about a 60-year-old card now. So a 60-year-old card with this type of border in a 6, great condition. Again, these are gonna stay with me. I have the whole set, so I'm not gonna be letting them go anytime soon. And the set, as you can see, they're all similar to that. The Mickey Mantle PSA did grade that a 7, and the Mickey Mantle All-Star graded a 6.5. So very similar to the grades that you're seeing in some of these cards. This is the Gaylord Perry, and this is the Gaylord Perry rookie card, number 199. So you see the back of the card there, played for the Giants, and Gaylord Perry got a 6.5. So 1962, Gaylord Perry, 62 Topps rookie. Try to give you a good look at that in a 6.5. I'll take it. Anything over a 6 in these cards are very, very, very tough to find, especially with the centering and the borders and the corners on this. So 6.5. I'm happy with that. Would have liked a little bit better grade, but you know, SGC is pretty tough with the old cards, and you know, that's understandable. You know, overall, I think it was pretty fair. Here comes the Sandy Koufax. This will be the last one of the 62s that I'm going to show you today. Card number 5, one of the first cards in the set from the first series. So this one is especially difficult to get because it is one of the earlier cards in the set. So to get it in one of these conditions is really, really great. So this came out in a SGC 7, again a 1962 Sandy Koufax in an SGC 7 in beautiful conditions, a beautiful card of Sandy Koufax. So you can see the gloss on that card. It looks like it was just taken out of the pack with beautiful borders and nice centering. A beautiful card of Sandy Koufax, graded SGC 7. So now I'm going to get into the 1959 cards. And again, starting with the high numbers, we're going to start with the team set of the Yankees. And this one gets a 7.5, and this is from 1959. It's a high number card, so it's very difficult to get these in good condition. But as you can see, this is a beautiful card, beautifully centered, and it came out SGC 7.5. Would have liked a little bit better grade, but it's a nice card to see the entire Yankee team included in there. So 1959 Topps, New York Yankees, 7.5. Next card I'm going to show you is more of the high number series from 1959. And these are the All-Star cards. And this is the Willie Mays. So 1959 Willie Mays, number 563, and it gets a 6. So as you can see, these are the All-Star cards. These are really hard to get perfectly centered because in those days, people, you know, the factory didn't really look at that. These cards, I remember, they were made for kids to collect and trade and put on the bicycle spokes and so on. So to get these cards in this kind of condition, it's very, very hard, very, very tough. You know, these cards are now 63 years old. So here is the Willie Mays Sporting News All-Star in a 6. Next, I'm going to show you the Al K line. Again, one of the All-Stars, high series, number 562, Hall of Famer Al K line. And Al K line got a 5.5. And this card is very, very sharp. You can see the corners are beautiful. The only reason it got the 5.5 is because of the centering issues that were very common in these cards back in 1959. So this is a 1959 All-Star Al K line in a 5.5. These cards will remain in my possession. I have the entire set of 1959, and like you see, they're all in beautiful condition. I got them from the original owner many, many years ago. So I am the second owner of these cards, along with the 62 set also. So this is the Hank Aaron, is the next one, number 561, Hank Aaron All-Star, Talks about Hank, one of the greatest right-hand hitting outfielders. And this was in 1959, so this is just 5 years into his career. And this one got a SGC 7. Great card, beautiful card in this type of condition. And this is number 561, the Hank Aaron All-Star in an SGC 7. I'll give you a good look at that card. There's a young Hank Aaron, right fielder for the Milwaukee Braves in those days. Next card I'm going to show you is the regular card of Roberto Clemente. That's card number 478. There were some times when he first started, he was called Roberto Clemente, and then later in the years, they changed the name on his cards to Bob Clemente. So Bob Clemente got a 4.5. Again, the off-centering, top to bottom, left to right, is what causes the lower grade, because the corners are really nice and sharp, and it's a beautiful card, even though it's a 4.5. The centering is what does it, but the card is nice, beautiful, still has a lot of gloss, and the eye appeal on that card is beautiful. Next card is a Frank Robinson, and the 59 Frank Robinson is his rookie card. So here's the Frank Robinson rookie, number 435, and that one got a 5.5. Again, nice card, nice corners. The centering, it looks like, again, maybe what took it down a notch, but a 5.5 for a card that's 63 years old with some nice eye appeal. I'm taking them. So 5.5 for the Frank Robinson rookie card. Next one I'm going to show you is the Hank Aaron. And this is the regular card for Hank Aaron that year from 1959, card number 380. And you can see he was still young, only been in the league 5 years. So this is his 5th year card, and the Hank Aaron card gets a 5. I would have liked a little bit better grade on this one because it's very, very sharp. You know, it looks like the centering again is what hurts the card based on SGCs, but the eye appeal is beautiful. Nice card, still has a lot of gloss, beautiful shiny card, you know, just like it came out of the pack, you know, and then most of them did come out off-centered, so there's really not much you can do about that. To get a centered one, you're gonna pay a big premium on those. So here comes the Euchre line. Another Hall of Famer, card number 360. Again, this is a 5th year card of Euchre line, and SGC graded it a 7. So again, the reason for the better grade is the centering, because all these cards, like I said, I got them from the same collector, the person who actually pulled these out of the packs back in 1959. I'm just the second owner of these cards, and he had almost the entire set when I bought it from him, missing maybe about 30-40 cards, and I went ahead and finished the set. But these were from the original collection that I bought way back, probably at least 30 years ago. And there's the Euchre line in a 7, 1959 Euchre line in a 7. Next card is the Ernie Banks. And these, you know, I basically looked at the set, pulled out most of the Hall of Famers and rookie cards out of there, and sent those to be graded at SGC. So this is the Ernie Banks card from 1969, 59, and it gets a 5.5. 1959 Ernie Banks, 5.5, excellent plus. Another nice card. Probably should have been a little bit better graded. I would have liked it to be at least a 6. But like I said, a card that is that old, I'll take it. Next card is the Roger Maris. Now this is the 59 Roger Maris, which is the second year Roger Maris. The rookie is from 1958. So this is the 59 card number 202 Roger Maris. And this card gets a grade of a 5.5 again, just like the Ernie Banks. These are going to be pretty consistent graded because they all came from the same lot, from the same person. And basically he told me just got them right out of the pack and put them away. And this is how they are. You know, the off-centering is what, again, takes the grade down a notch. But you can see the card is clean, beautiful, nice eye appeal. 5.5. It's a nice grade for a 63-year-old card. Next comes the another Yankee Hall of Famer, Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra was very famous, not just for winning a lot of World Series, along with Mickey Mantle, Whitey Ford, and the rest, and Roger Maris, but he had the best sayings ever. You know, you've heard many of his sayings. It's deja vu all over again. It ain't over till it's over. Nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded. So those are some of his sayings. He has a whole book on what's called Yogiism, and Yogi got a nice 7 on that Yogi Berra card. 59 Yogi Berra, card number 180. If you have not seen his book, the Yogi quotes, Yogiisms, I would encourage you to read them. It's very, very funny. He's a very, very funny guy. Came up with some great quotes. You know, another one of his good one was, when you see a fork in the road, take it. So that was Yogi Berra, 1959 and a 7. And another 1959 card is the Sandy Koufax. Sandy Koufax, this is his, 55 was his rookie year, so this is a 59, 4th year, Sandy Koufax. One of the best, or probably for the time that he pitched, he was the best left-handed pitcher in the league, maybe ever. He played a short time, but he was so dominating in those years, he was an instant Hall of Famer. So Sandy Koufax, number 163, gets a 5. A little disappointed with that one, but it's the off-centering. It's way off-center, left to right and top to bottom. Again, beautiful image, clean card. Looks like it just came out of the pack. It's just off-center, like most of the cards back in those days. They didn't worry about quality control because these cards were not made to be collected. These cards were made for kids who would take them, trade them, flip them, put them on the bicycle spokes, and so on. So really, Topps didn't worry about, you know, the perfect centering and even cutting, and some of them, you know, have rough cuts. Some of the cards just came like that from the factory. So even though this is a beautiful, generally a mint card right out of the pack, the centering caused it to be a 5. Next, another 59 card, and we've got the Stan Musial, number 150. Stan Musial, one of the greatest players ever. Unfortunately, he did have to go to the military for a while. You could see that there. You know, just like many players in those days, Ted Williams and others, who had to stop their career and go fight the war. So this Stan Musial, number 150, gets a 7. And beautiful, again, a beautiful card. Generally the same conditions as the other cards, but the centering on this one is a lot better. So that's why SGC gives it a 7. So a Stan Musial, 59, and a 7. Next card is the Willie Mays. Willie Mays, number 50. And Willie, everyone knows, probably the best athlete in baseball ever, the true 5-tool player. So Willie Mays gets a 4.5. And, you know, again, it's a nice card. Looks like it may have a little bit of staining in the back there and a little bit of off-centered, but 4.5 for such an important player. This is definitely a collector grade card. So 4.5 for Willie Mays. Moving on, now we're going to go into some 1957 cards. And this is the rookie card of one of my favorite players, the nicest player I've ever met in my life in person, and this is Brooks Robinson. So Brooks Robinson rookie card. It's in the tough mid-series in 57. The middle series is the hardest series to get. So these are really, really hard to get in good condition. So number 328, Brooks Robinson rookie, gets a 6. Brooks Robinson, 57, in a 6. Again, these cards are just in gorgeous condition. The centering is what gives it a little bit less grade, but for Brooks Robinson rookie card, a 6 is a great card. I'll take that, of course. Next comes another, these are a few 1957 cards. Another 1957 of Sandy Koufax. This one looks like it's off-centered. Also, like, you know, I keep talking about it, but that's really the main issue with these cards. With any cards from the 50s and 60s and 70s and even the 80s, it's just the printing was not perfected and they were not made to be collected. That's why they're so rare and that's why they're so valuable. So number 302, Sandy Koufax, one of his nicest cards, only a 3.5 on that. I don't see anything wrong with that card other than just real bad centering, mainly in the back. The back, look, it's almost miscut there. I think that's why they gave it that, the 3.5. But either way, as you can see, it's a gorgeous card, sharp corners. You can see this is just how it came out of the pack. So there's really nothing you can do. It came out of the pack as a 3.5, according to SGC. So that's Sandy Koufax. Another one from 1957. Actually, this, I was mistaken. I think this is his rookie card. Yeah, this is Frank Robinson's rookie card. So number 35, Frank Robinson. You can see that back miscut, but that got a 5. A nice card. 1957, Frank Robinson. He was with the Cincinnati Reds. He went on to play with the Orioles, won championships, and was one of the few players, and I'm not sure if he was the only one, but one of the few players that won the most valuable player, both in the National League and in the American League. 1957, number 35, Frank Robinson, in a 5. Let me take a good look at that card. In a 5. Next, I have another Willie Mays card from 1957, card number 10. This was in the first series, so always the first series and the first cards are a little bit more condition sensitive because they were the first ones that came out. In those days, kids would put them with the rubber bands, and as the series came out, you know, they mixed those in with the second series, third series. In many cases, there were 7 series of cards that came out. So the first series usually tended to get a little bit more wear and tear than some of the last series, even though sometimes the last series are rarer cards, because as the year went on, kids kind of got tired and maybe didn't collect all the series. So here's Willie Mays, card number 10, 1957, in a 6. Nice card of Willie Mays. Looks very similar to the Mantle card. Like I said, the Mantle card, if you want to go back and watch my Mantle collection, you could see the Mantle cards from all years, from his rookie on. So here's a nice 1957 Willie Mays in an SGC 6. Next, these are 1958. I didn't put them in the right order, but this is 1958. And this is a card of Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews. It's the Braves Fence Busters. And the Braves had a great team back then. You know, Eddie Matthews, Hank Aaron. And this got a 5.5, 1958 tops. It's got Hank Aaron. It's got Eddie Matthews. It's got Joe Adcock and Del Crandall. Another nice card from 1958, a Hank Aaron card. 4th year of Hank Aaron. So, beautiful card. Probably should have been graded a little bit higher. I'm telling you, SGC is pretty tough. But it is what it is. Next comes another 1958 card. And this is Ernie Banks, All-Star. I did have the entire set of 1958. I did break it up. I kept the stars, and I had just a few of the stars graded. And my next submission, I'm going to go ahead and grade some more of my 62s and more of my 57s and 58s. So here is the Ernie Banks 1958 All-Star in a 5. Again, the 5 is really due to the centering, because the corners are super nice, super sharp, as you can see, just like it came out of the pack. Bright colors, you know, it's just off center, both right to left, top to bottom. But Ernie Banks, Mr. Cub, probably the best player in Cubs history, and first time All-Star ballot selection. Next, we're going to come up with a rare card here. This is from 1953, and this is Satchel Paige. Now, this card, I will tell you that, let me show you the card and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that. But in beautiful shape, almost like it came out of the pack. And it did get an authentic grade. And the reason for the authentic is not because it's trimmed, because you can see the card is not trimmed. It fits the holder exactly as it should. But it's a Satchel Paige, and the reason why it got an authentic is because it did have, or it does have, hairline crease, and you can see it right there along his face. And I do know that the previous owner, they basically what's called pressing. They tried to press the crease out. And once you try to press the crease out, the card is considered altered. So this card did not get a grade. It got graded authentic. So it doesn't matter to me. I got this card very cheaply. I will tell you, I got it a few years ago, but I got it for $75. So I didn't expect it to get a high grade. I did think that it may have gotten a 3 or so because of the wrinkles. It's not really a crease, because the crease doesn't go all the way through, but it does have some wrinkles on the front, and probably from the printing process. But the eye appeal is gorgeous. The card is centered nicely, and it's a Satchel Paige, which is a very, very tough card to come by. So even though it was graded authentic, you know, this will remain in my personal collection. And you know, it technically has been altered, but it hasn't been altered. It's just been pressed. Someone they pressed the crease, try to get the crease off. And unfortunately, that is considered an alteration. And you could kind of see the crease right about there, right under his nose there. And I knew that when I bought the card, but I was hoping that I could at least get a number grade. But authentic, it's an authentic Satchel Paige card from 1953. So I will take that. It's a beautiful card. Very tough card to find. Next comes another card that I got many years ago. Very famous card. This is a 1934 Gowdy Lou Gehrig card, number 37. An iconic card. This one does have creases and it does have rounded corners, and I didn't expect a good grade out of this, but I wanted to get it slabbed because, again, it's an iconic card and one of my most favorite cards that I have, even though it only was graded A1. But I expected that. The corners are rounded. And it does have, again, surface creases, as you could see. But I've had this card for a long time. Got it pretty cheap. And I needed to get it slabbed. You can see the surface wrinkles, is what they call on it. And some cards came out like that. You know, I never tried to touch it up or anything. Just had it graded to keep in my personal collection. So a beautiful Lou Gehrig, classic Lou Gehrig pose with a smiling face, graded a 1, 34 Gowdy, graded a 1. I'm happy with it. I'm happy to have it slabbed and to keep this card for a long time. 1934 Gowdy, Lou Gehrig. The last two cards are from the Goodwin Champion set, and these are from 1888. I do have this complete set. If you want to go back and look at my videos, I think this is one of the first videos I did was on this N162 Goodwin Champion set from 1888. The back of these cards all are the same. They all have the checklist on there. And this particular card is graded a 3, Isaac Murphy. Now, PSA has graded less than 20 of these cards, so these are extremely rare cards, especially this one. The reason it's one of the more desirable cards is because it's a black athlete. And Isaac Murphy was the only black athlete in these cards, in this set. And there are very few black athletes or black baseball players or any of that in any of these sets back in those days. So this is one of the few ones. Like I said, in a 3, if I recall correctly, there are probably 7 or 8 graded higher by PSA. These cards in a 3 is pretty much a high grade because it's from 1888 Goodwin Champions, the N162 series, Isaac Murphy. And I have one more from that set that I did have ungraded, and I figured I'd get them all graded. And this is another one, and this is a 4. This guy is Duncan C Ross. And one day I'm going to do my videos and just talk about some of these cards. Well, I did in my previous video, but the specific players. You know, Duncan Ross, this one says he's a broad swordsman with the swords. But really, he was a wrestler. He was a champion wrestler, one of the more famous wrestlers in those days. He traveled all over Europe. He was not an American, but he came to the United States, and he was famous for all the swords, doing all kinds of things from fencing to so on. But in his later years, he became a very famous pro wrestler. He did Greco-Roman wrestling, and he did the all types of wrestling. So these cards are just gorgeous. The color on these cards from 1888 are just incredible. And I really love this set. It is my favorite set. And like I said, I have the entire set of these cards. And if you want to go back and look at my videos, I'll show you all the graded ones in one of the previous videos of the 1888 Goodwin champion. So Duncan Ross ended up being a 4. There are very few of these again in existence. Less than 20 cards have been graded by PSA, and a 4 is a high grade card. I think the highest graded is a 7, but the majority of the cards you'll see graded are going to be lower grade, 1, 2, or 3 even. But once you get past the 4 and mid grades in these years, it's almost impossible to find. So just want to thank everyone for looking at my videos. I'm going to go ahead and line up some of these cards again so you can take a good look at them. But I really appreciate everyone that's taken the time to see my videos and to comment on the videos. And I just want to make sure that everyone sees cards that you may not have seen, or you may have only seen rarely. So I just wanted to get a chance for everyone to see some of these cards. Appreciate it. Thank you very much for looking at my cards and looking at my collection. I'll be releasing a new video again next week. I tried to release at least one video a week, sometimes more. So please like and subscribe. And if you have any comments, I'll make sure that I try to respond on those. So thank you very much, everybody. Have an awesome day. This is Orlando from A Collector's Dream saying goodbye.